Welcome back to Coffee and Conversation. So, second day with different camera. I expect to be back on my regular camera, hopefully by this time next week. We'll have to see. But so far, this one seems to be working out okay. I haven't gotten a lot of complaints, but, fingers crossed so far. So let's start with Audie news. Audie went out today. This is the first time he's done anything more than step off the porch, look around, and come back inside. But it was a very nice day, and of course he had been inside for the previous 2 or 3 days. So naturally, he had to go out and check out the neighborhood. He had to make sure that all of the other houses in the neighborhood were, that they were taking care of their snow. He had to check and see how much snow they had. Was it melting? What are they doing with it? Are they properly monitoring this snow they have? It was Audie being detective, basically, and asserting himself as the caretaker of the neighborhood. He was out for 3 hours. Eventually, of course, he comes back in and then went back to the front window to go to sleep over there. And, he can stare at the neighbor across the street and see how well his snow is melting too. So yes, life is kind of back to normal for Audie. Now, yellow. Yellow is in the form of my little pin once again. Again, because, it's chilly. So yes, sweatshirts, etc. And I don't have any yellow sweatshirts. I don't even have sweatshirts with yellow in them, which is unusual when you stop and think about it, but I don't. I actually checked through every single sweatshirt in the hopes that I would find a little bit of yellow. So here is our yellow. It is for Catherine. It is for Lex's mom. It is for everyone who is coping with cancer. And we are wishing you the very, very best. So we're going to take a look at the intro and we'll be back in a minute. So I expect this is a little better now that I have a light on. I did not have a light on during the section I filmed prior to the intro, but I have adjusted that subsequently. So yes, we have lights now. I'm still having a hard time getting used to this new setup, which frankly is just sort of an interim setup until I can get a new camera in. Although, to be fair, I have not gone hunting to see if I can find the previous camera. At this point, I just look at those boxes and think to myself, I'll just wait for the new one to arrive. So we are kind of stuck with this for a while. Sweatshirt. I should mention this. This is American University, and I got this from the AU bookstore. I should have known better because I went to American University. I know what the bookstore is like. But when you do a Google search trying to find an American University sweatshirt online, it's impossible because you throw American University, even if you put it in quotes, into a search engine, you're going to just get a long list of all of the universities in the United States. You are not going to get the American University. So yeah, I was sort of forced to deal with the bookstore. I did not want a white sweatshirt. I had ordered this in a different color. Frankly, it was so long ago, I don't remember what color I had ordered it in, but it was not white. I had not wanted this logo. I had wanted the logo that was in use during the time when I was at the university, because that's the one that is familiar to me. So I ended up with a sweatshirt I'm really not crazy about. Well, it's beyond not crazy about it. I don't do well with long-sleeved white anything. because I get so much crud on the cuffs. It's honestly, if I have a long-sleeved white anything, I have to spend about 10 minutes pre-treating it before I stick it in the wash, just to make sure the cuffs are not coming out of the wash as dirty as they were when they went in. I don't do well with white. I have no idea where I'm sticking my hands, but I am absolutely sticking them into mud somewhere along the line. And again, white is not a favorite color of mine. I accept the fact that, a lot of my undergarments are probably going to have to be white, but beyond that, no, not a favorite color for me. So anyway, that's the explanation for this sweatshirt, from which I am very emotionally alienated, even though I shouldn't be. I mean, it's my old university. I should be happy with it. I am much, much happier with my sweatshirts from British universities. And those are in nice color. Light blue. Most of them are in light blue. I do like that. That's such a nice color. So, yeah. Oh, and speaking of colors, in response to yesterday's video, one of our viewers, Kelly McKee, had suggested I might want to throw some plum into my wardrobe. And I have decided I am going to give it a try. Primarily because I've recently passed up a couple of very nice tops, shirts, blouses, whatever, top things in plum, because I never even bothered to give them a second look. But because when I am buying clothing, I will go through I'm shopping online, so I don't have the advantage of going into a store and touching everything, which I do when I am in stores, touching everything, reading all the labels. I have to do all my shopping. It's almost by proxy, because online I have to trust them for everything. All the information I'm pretty much getting secondhand. So I go through everything very carefully, particularly things like colors, because a computer monitor will not necessarily render color accurately. And I will pay a great deal of attention to the color selections I have available. So when I've passed up colors that were listed as plum or aubergine or whatever those various names are they use for damson. Damson is another one. For those plum-like colors, I do pay attention, because I'm never really sure what they are, and consequently I'll pull up a number of images just so that I have some sense of it. And I have passed up a couple in that range, and I think I am going to try. It wouldn't kill me to grab one plum top, throw it into my wardrobe, and see if I like it. And with most of the companies I buy from online, if I don't like it, I can just send it back, especially if I'm only sending it back for an exchange. They like exchanges better than they like refunds. So if I'm just sending something back saying, nope, I'll take it in navy instead, they're going to be a lot more reasonable about exchanges. On the other hand, I do have to say, I avoid doing business with companies that are not customer friendly, companies that are not open to exchanges, refunds, if you don't like what you get. Which, by the way, is one of the reasons that I tend to favor Amazon when I am shopping for anything, but especially if I'm shopping for something that I might have to get from a dodgy company. Because Amazon will back things up. Sometimes you have to fight with them for it, but in the end, they will back up anything that's sold through their site. And occasionally I've come across things and, well, I had gotten some wool shirts recently. I don't recall if I've mentioned this on a video, but it was just an interesting adventure. I would buy something from them. Maybe they would send it out. Maybe they wouldn't. They would send me out socks that I didn't order. Just, here's a top. Yes, it's not what you wanted, but here are socks. It's like, well, I didn't order the socks either. So this particular company, oh, come to think of it, I'm sure I did talk to you folks about it, because I do seem to recall having said I will not mention the company because, of course, I was savaging them. So that is a company, even though I really like their stuff, I will only buy it through Amazon. It is entirely possible that I will have to pay a little more for it going through Amazon, but it is absolutely worth it because Amazon will not let a company offer products for sale that they don't have. You have to keep a very careful inventory when you sell through Amazon. So when I go onto Amazon, put something in my Amazon cart, they'll flash up a notice and say only 7 of these left, order soon. Now, on the surface of it, that looks like Amazon is trying to get me to place the order immediately. They probably are. Just to be fair, they probably are. But it also tells me that they are tracking the inventory. And I like that, especially having dealt with a company recently that has serious inventory control problems. So that makes me feel a whole lot better. But speaking of Amazon, there are quite a few things that I have purchased through Amazon because I get better prices on them than I get even going directly to the manufacturer. And I think we've talked about this. One of my favorite shoe manufacturers is Minnetonka, the US-based company that specializes in moccasins. They are all leather. I like the deerskin mocks, but they have moose hide and other kinds of leather. I don't know how extensive their selection of those other kinds of leather are in women's shoes, but I do know that they have a pretty extensive selection of various different types of leather in the men's shoes. So even though this is a US company, they sell their moccasins through their own retail outlets as well as other online shoe specialty retail outlets like Shoe Mall, that's one of them. But they do sell on Amazon. And I can, in fact, get sizes on Amazon that I can't find elsewhere. I can get sales on Amazon. Sometimes they're Amazon-specific sales, but a lot of times it's the manufacturer discounting their own goods through Amazon and through Amazon only. Again, I have no idea if Amazon is in any way involved in that. If they go to the manufacturer and say, well, we'll carry your goods, but you have to throw us a sale every now and then. No idea what that business relationship is. But there are a lot of things I will specifically buy through Amazon first. And because, like I say, I get better prices. In some cases, I have gotten significantly better prices on Amazon than I would have got going through the manufacturer. I know that does not make sense at all, but it is absolutely true. My Eastland saddle shoes I got for about $60. The manufacturer was selling them for $100. What can I say? So yes, that is one of the reasons I will go with Amazon. And I know a lot of people don't like Amazon. And I think, as far as I can tell, the biggest reason people dislike Amazon is because they say Amazon is not good to their workers. But we have Amazon warehouses in my area, and I've never heard their workers complaining. But again, to be fair, and I believe I've said this before, the warehouses in my area have difficulty keeping their employees. There are more jobs than there are people to fill them, basically. So if one employer is, well, less than honorable in their dealings with their employees, the employees can just go to the warehouse next door. So that does keep employers honest. And it is the way it should be. I like the fact that employees have options and can pick and choose and are not in a situation where they are just forced to work for a substandard employer simply because it's the only job available. I like this sort of thing. I like more jobs than people to fill them. What can I say? I am a diehard capitalist. I have no problem at all with capitalism. And I like the idea that an employee can sell their services to the highest bidder to get good treatment, get good benefits, get high wages. I like that. To me, that shows the system working the way it's supposed to. Anyway, that was simply something that, I'm not even sure how I got off onto this ramble, but I've gone through. Now, I'm not going to be able to recapture the train of that thought, but certainly I do a lot of online shopping, and as a consequence, I do find myself being very picky about things like return policies, exchange policies. And if you buy off brands, if you buy from companies overseas, and I'm not trying to target anyone in particular, if you buy from companies overseas, you are very often better off using a clearinghouse platform like Amazon, not necessarily, but like Amazon, just so that you can cut down your shipping costs. I have a company in Sweden. Somehow my mind has just gone off to shoes, but I like their shoe polish. It's very, very good. It's shoe cream. It's Brungård. It's a company in Sweden. But because it's a company in Sweden, if I buy directly from the company, I am paying a lot in shipping. I will get a little tiny tub of shoe cream like this big, and I will pay $25 to have it shipped to the US. So I have found a company that is basically an American outlet for this particular shoe cream. I buy from them, and quite frankly, I get 2 little pots of shoe cream and they'll ship it for free. If I want 1 little pot of shoe cream, they'll only charge me about $10 or $11 for the shipping. They charge $1 more than Brungård in Sweden charges. So, am I making out this way? You bet I am. Especially since, it's shoe cream. It's the sort of thing that you can buy in bulk. Okay, fine. Yes, I buy shoe cream in bulk. I really do. But I'm not trying to suggest that I will get a dozen of the same little pots of shoe cream, but I might end up getting 2 or 3 pots of shoe cream in different colors. And if I get 3 little pots of shoe cream from these people, they ship it to me for free. It works out well. So anyway, to sort of cap off this ramble, I think there are a lot of advantages to buying from like clearinghouse outlets like Amazon. Walmart does this a lot with their third-party sellers. Walmart, I will say this, is not quite as good about backing up their third-party sellers as Amazon is. If you have a problem with something you've purchased from Amazon, you call Amazon and they will fix it. And they will fix it like immediately. You do the same thing with Walmart, and they can get you involved in this back and forth with their third-party sellers, and it can be 2 or 3 days before Walmart will eventually get involved and fix the problem. In the end, they will fix it. So don't get me wrong about that. I'm not saying Walmart does not fix the problem, but they will make you jump through more hoops to get there. But having said that, I do think that these clearinghouse platforms like Amazon, Walmart, and there are others, where the platform itself is willing to take some responsibility. The platform is willing to offer you free return shipping if something is unsatisfactory. And they will get involved and make sure you do get satisfaction in the end. I think that makes a lot of sense, especially when shopping online. I have had very few difficulties dealing with places like Walmart or Amazon when I've dealt with third-party sellers, some of whom are not from the U.S. I've had very few difficulties compared to the very serious difficulties I've had when dealing with little unknown companies directly. Now, that's just been my experience. And as I say, there are some companies that, I'm not going to do business with them directly. I am going to use someone like Amazon or Walmart or whoever, because then I have their clout to back me up when I have a problem, because they are the ones I'm going to go to. They are the ones that I am going to Karen all over if they won't fix my problem. They know this, they fix it, and then they'll go back and sort it out with this third-party vendor. So yeah, there are advantages. This had not started out to be a let's talk about the advantages of online buying through clearinghouse platforms, but I think that's what it is turning into. And who knows, maybe that's not such a bad thing after all. Maybe this is something that is worthwhile, worth getting into. I should probably tell you, the Brungard shoe cream I got from a place in New Jersey called Levi's Shoes. I've had a good experience with them, so I'm not afraid to give you that name, because it's only when I trash them that I don't want to publicly shame them. But I think they're doing a great job selling a product that is, by the way, Brungard is probably the best shoe cream out there. Don't listen to anybody who says, oh no, it has to be Saphir. The Saphir folks are simply caught up in the cachet of the Saphir name. Brungard is better, period. And I'm a shoe freak, so, trust me on this. I know what I'm talking about. But the fact is that I've found a resource that is in the U.S., saving me the shipping, getting me the shoe cream I want. So, yeah. I don't know how we got from the start of this. We started off on a sweatshirt. I don't know how we got from there to here, but we did. So I guess that's what Coffee and Conversation is all about. I do want to quickly mention something because it has been weighing on my mind. We have a lot of UK viewers. I know that it's cold in the UK. I know that things are not going well in the UK. And the channel makes charitable donations all the time. I don't talk about it a whole lot anymore because I don't want to sort of interrupt the videos with this sort of station business, so to speak. But we're still doing it. I am having a terrible time finding UK charities that are specifically geared toward dealing with people with food insecurity. That right now is the issue that is weighing heavily on my mind. Last year at this time, it was heating because I was reading newspaper headlines that were just blaring at me, choosing between heating and eating, which is terrible. But I do know that the situation in the UK is not really good for a lot of people right now. So for our friends in the UK, yours are the boots on the ground. I would love to know if there are charities to which I can donate as a foreigner. Sounds weird, doesn't it? Usually, if you say, I want a charitable donation and make a charitable donation, I'm from the United States, everybody is saying, oh yeah, come here, come see us. But not the UK, because in the UK, they give charity. They don't take it. So when they go into crisis, they don't have the same systems in place to accept foreign donations. So I'm reliant on you folks. Is there a charity? Is some way I can funnel money to some of these UK charities? I have the same problem with Canada, but Canada has a large central network, and I can go through their central charity network and even earmark for specific charities if I want to. Maybe you folks have the same thing. I have not been able to find it. But definitely, I am concerned for our cousins across the pond. We certainly don't want anyone to be going to bed hungry at night. And if there's something we can do, no matter how small it is, and I realize this is a very small channel, this is not some fabulous, wealthy foundation, but any little bit helps. And if you folks can find a way to help me navigate through this, just somehow get some money to them, I would absolutely be grateful. All right, we're going to stop there. We are going to take a look at a slideshow on the way out. And for those of you who join us for Just Chatting, it will be 8 o'clock this evening, New York City time. For the rest of you, I hope to see you next weekend again, and have a terrific day.